Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Mrs. Sarah. And today we are from Group 3. We'll present about innovative strategies to teaching speaking skill. Now, without further ado, let's move to the next slide, which is the introduction of our member groups. The first one, we have Wahyu, and the second one, we have Eko, or me, and the next one we have, not least, we have Ayu Dwisanti. Now let's move to the first topic, which is the definition of speaking skill. What is speaking skill? In here, speaking skill is an important foundation for someone to be able to communicate. In education, speaking skill is important because with speaking skill, we can communicate or we can cross the bridge between worlds to be able to communicate, to transfer information, or to gain an information, and also to help build a new relationship with other people. Now let's move to the next, which is relevant teaching method to teach speaking skill. And here we brought a direct method. Here, according to Dharmayani, direct method is from the first stage of language learning. So in this direct methods have one uniqueness from other method, which is the student are not allowed to use their native language or mother language to communicate in class. Instead, they will use their target language to communicate. And there are some characteristics of direct method. The first one is facilitates to the knowledge of authentic language use. As we know, direct method push the student use a target language in class, so they will know how to express or how to communicate if they keep using the target language in class. And the next is teacher cannot translate the target. They will or want something. For example, a teacher will talk about a noun in target language, and they will show the noun, not translate the noun to the mother language. And the next, we have students are expected to learn grammar structure from the teacher's example and build the knowledge. So for example, here the teacher will write something or say something, and there the students are expected to analyze the structure of the sentence or the talking. And they have to understand that the grammar rules that use in this. And the next is learning vocabulary must come from a sentence, not from words. As we know, usually we learn vocabulary from the listing list, and here we learn from the sentence. It can be any sentence, and the student have to analyze the sentence, what the vocabulary that is contained in the sentences. And the next is students are expected to participate in the learning process with the target language. As we know, direct method is mean that the student will participate or communicate in the class. Maybe it's discussing, answering a question, asking a question, or something more. And here, the target language must be used. They are not allowed to use their mother language or native language. And next, we have relevant data, and this one will be explained by my partner.
Okay, so now I will explain about the relevant teaching method of speaking skill. There is CLT. So according to TechLiuk 2020, communicative language teaching or CLT approach students learn how to use the target language to communicate effectively and appropriately in real life situations. The main goal of this method is to make students able to communicate in the target language. So according to Ningsih 2017, there are important characteristics of CLT. First is use of small group activity CLT. So because they can maximize each student's time to communicate. So working in small group will help students speak more and learn better. And the next is communication focused activities. All the activities are designed to help students to talk and understand each other. So, main goal is for students to communicate, not only just to memorize grammar and or words. And the next is opportunities for self-expression. Students need to express their ideas and thought. So this will help students to practice the language in a natural way, like in a real conversation. Okay, for the last characteristic is use of authentic language. authentic language is used to teach the material. So instead of only using the textbook sentences, a teacher also use movies, song, or menus, or conversation that people really use in real world. So this helps students learn how to use the language naturally. Okay, so for the next material will be explained.
Okay, so the next I will be explain about the example of engaging activities for speaking skill in direct method. The first one is question and answer practice. Question and answer practice is a direct method strategy where the teacher asks question in English and the student will be respond directly without translation. Afterward, the student asks each other question, creating active interaction. The goal of this strategy is to help students respond spontaneously and build speaking fluency. For example, the teacher will be asked the question like, "Where do you live?" and the student answer, "I live in Bali." Then continue by asking the similar question to the classmate or their friend. And then the second one is repetition and substitution drills. So repetition and substitution drills are exercises where students repeat and substitute part of sentences to strengthen sentence structure and pronunciation. The teacher give a basic sentence such as I go to school and the student repeat it. Then the teacher will be provide a new word like market, for example, and the student substitute the object by saying I go to the market. This strategy helps students develop automatic and structurally correct speaking habit without thinking in their native language. So that's all, and then the next material will be explained by my friend.
Okay, so thanks for the time. So now I'm going to explain the examples of engaging activities for learners by using GLT. So the first one is using role play strategy. So role play is an activity where the student will be act as another person or job or character or any role that they are going to represent, which later will representing the character, action, and the way they talk. Okay, so in this activity, the student will be divided into several groups depending on the subject. So, for example, the teacher order the student to role play as an interview where the employee and the interviewer, and then the student will discuss with their friend about the topic and present their discussion in front of the class. So this kind of activity will enhance the students' communication skills because they are already practiced and present the role that they are presenting and allow the student to know how real communication occurs in real life and based on what they present in front of the class. And then the second one is group work strategy. So group work is an activity where the student will work collaboratively as a group to achieve a certain goal in a smaller group for more effective communication. So group work is an activity where the student will work collaboratively as a group to achieve a certain goal. So in this activity, the student will be divided into a smaller group for more effective communication, around 3 to 4 students. Then they will work together to achieve the goal as a group collaboratively. So this kind of activity will enhance the students' communication skill by communicating with each other in a smaller group, which focusing the topic, which is more effective rather than having a big group that will have too much time to think about the same goal. So this kind of activity will develop the student communication skill by focusing a small discussion in a group. Okay, so for the next topic will be delivered by my friend.
Okay, thank you. So the next topic is strategies for assessing student progress actively. So the first is peer assessment. Peer assessment is an alternative assessment method that involves students in the process of assessing their peer speaking skill. This is very useful strategy because it's not only help teacher in their assessment, but also encourage students to be more critical, reflective, and supportive. So there are some benefits of peer assessment to speaking. The first is improving language self-awareness. So by assessing others, students indirectly learn to pay attention to important aspects of speaking, such as pronunciation, vocabulary, fluency, and sentence structure. And the second is practicing social skill and empathy. So students learn to give constructive feedback and accept criticism with a positive attitude for the others. And the last benefit is encouraging active engagement. So students become more active and do not just wait for their turn to speak, but also listen critically because they have to assess their friends. So can help train their listening skill. Okay, so here are example of peer assessment. There are some aspects and they have to checklist yes or no. Okay, next, the second is assessment rubric. Next slide, please. Okay, thank you. So assessment rubric is an assessment tool in the form of a list of criteria and achievement levels used by teachers to evaluate students' performance objectively and systemically. So in the context of speaking, this rubric helps teacher assess aspects such as pronunciation, fluency, language structure, vocabulary, and the content of student speech. So there are some purpose of speaking assessment rubric. The first is ensuring objective assessment. So teachers do not assess subjectively or based on feeling, but based on clear and measurable criteria. And the second is providing specific feedback. Students know which areas they have mastered and which areas need improvement. So before the assignments, the teacher have to give students this rubric so the students know what the areas need to improve and master. So here as an example of rubric assessment rubric. So there are some criteria and the score, and here we have scoring guide. Yeah, the maximum score is 20 points and some score interpretation. So that's all from me. I give it back to the moderator.
Okay, thank you, Putri. And that was the end of our presentation. And thank you so much for listening to our presentation. And if there are any mistake, we would like to apologize. And see you for the next meeting.